Mr. Sheraz Ahmed, can I please have you on stage, who's the Managing Director for Storm. He'll be speaking to all of us about the ecosystem development, Switzerland startups, and investing. Sir, can I have you on stage?
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I'll try and make this short and sweet, and maybe you might have any questions for me as well. We're going to be talking about the Swiss crypto and blockchain ecosystem. It's a very interesting one, it's in my opinion, and I'm a bit biased. It's one of the ones that is at the forefront of this technology in this space, but I'll let you decide that for yourselves. So a little bit of context about myself. I'm the managing partner of Storm Partners, one of the most inclusive service providers in the European and Swiss markets for cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. We service clients from all over this space. We have 4 main departments, being finance and fundraising, legal and compliance, marketing and events, and digital transformation. Essentially a one-stop shop for all the services and support you might need in this space. We spark ideas to life in a very easy way. And I am also the head of business development of the Crypto Valley Association. Some of you might know the Crypto Valley Association. It is actually one of the largest non-profits in this space and based out of Zug in the Crypto Valley. I'll be able to talk a little bit more about it in a few minutes, but essentially there are just over 8,000 ecosystem members and it's been founded ever since 2017. Maybe I'll give you a little bit of context of why Switzerland is so important. There are over 960 blockchain and cryptocurrency companies based in the Crypto Valley, which is Switzerland. Of course, we include Liechtenstein within there as well. You might know some of these companies quite well, be it the Cardano Foundation, Solana Foundation, etc. They're all based in a small town that is Zug. So here's a little bit of the history of the Crypto Valley. In 2013, which is even close to 10 years ago, there was Bitcoin Swiss, Monetas, and Sapo that set up their operations in Switzerland. And then you might know Vitalik Buterin and some of his colleagues that actually set up and created Ethereum in Zug. So all of you probably in this room know what Ethereum is. That was actually created within the Crypto Valley. In 2016, so even before the whole craze of 2017, the city of Zug, so actually the government, a state, recognized Bitcoin as a means of payment. This is even before El Salvador legalized as a legal tender, etc. Then actually the boom of 2017 attracted a lot of these ICOs because actually in Switzerland, and we'll go into a little bit more detail about it, but there's a lot of legal certainty here. Things aren't so volatile. The Swiss take things quite slow and steady. And it attracted a lot of ICOs because there was actually a framework there in place for them. In 2018, FINMA, the financial regulator of Switzerland, actually brought out a classification of tokens. They were the first ones worldwide to bring out a classification of tokens. What is a classification of tokens? It's essentially segmenting the difference between a utility token, a payment token, and a security token or an asset token, if you will. Then in 2019, Switzerland authorized SEBA and Signum, you might know them, as 2 crypto banks that can actually, you can deposit cryptocurrencies into the bank and then translate it back into fiat in quite an easy and seamless way. And then in 2021, which we'll describe and talk about a little bit more in detail, the FINMA actually approved for security tokens and security token license issuance as well. So the rise of the Crypto Valley, and why is the Crypto Valley, Switzerland, such a top location for blockchain-based startups? So foreign investment, there's a lot of investment happening in this space, progressive measures, and strong business connections. But let's talk a little bit more about that now. So why choose Switzerland? There are top-ranking research institutes and universities, among the best in the world. Some of you might know the University of Geneva, Zurich, Lucerne, really famous educational research institutes, some of the ones that actually you can now have a bachelor's degree, even certifications in blockchain technology, crypto assets, even some bringing out DeFi certifications as well. First-hand access to experts. I mean, with Ethereum being founded there and many other protocols and projects, there is a lot of experts there on spot, a lot of researchers as well. This is just a little bit of a map for you to see how many universities are actually either giving classes about blockchain technology or crypto assets, or actually launching their own projects, research, incubating projects, the likes. Switzerland is a very small country, so seeing all of these universities, there's definitely something going on here. So it's a really attractive location for foreign investors. I mean, multinationals in Switzerland, probably a lot of them that you know, be it Nestle and others, are based in Switzerland. And so there are a lot of strong companies there, and thus a lot of investment happens. There's also, and a lot of people talk about this, that Switzerland is a bit of a tax haven. It's not so the case. I mean, here in Zug, which has some of the best tax incentives, there's still 11.79% tax. So it's different to the 0% that you might have here in Dubai. But it's very, it's very incentivized when there is such a stable economy underlying it. A lot of funding opportunities as well, because some of you that might have been to Switzerland actually has the highest BMI, Big Mac index, which you will essentially pay the most for your Big Mac anywhere in the world in Switzerland. So it's very expensive. So from a legal perspective, there's actually essentially been a lot of guidelines. The government is so actively involved. If I give you a little bit of an anecdote of how involved they are, at just a normal kind of crypto and wine meetup, you actually had regulators there, you actually had a lot of state officials that would come and speak with entrepreneurs to help create and form the legislation. So that was one of the really ones where I said, wow, Switzerland is really at the forefront here, because they're not just doing things in a small room somewhere, they're actually actively here involved to create this business-friendly regulation. So a little bit more context for you as well. It has created over 5,184 jobs within the blockchain space, even though it's a small country that accounts to quite a lot. And over 11 unicorns have sprouted out. Some of them, of course, you know, Ethereum, Solana, etc. But 11 unicorns is quite a lot in such a short period of time. So I'll go a little bit into the future now and see, from my perspective, where Switzerland is headed, and we'll talk a little bit about where I see kind of the Dubai ecosystem as well in relation to this. But my perspective is that the next wave that we will see in Switzerland, and maybe in the wider crypto space, is going to be security tokens. Of course, we're talking a lot about NFTs here, decentralized finance and the likes, but security tokens has been one of the ones that actually brought me into this space. The reason why, I mean, the ability to fractionalize ownership, to own anything, anywhere, a percentage of the Mona Lisa, the Eiffel Tower, for anyone, maybe not only us in this room, but for individuals that might not be as fortunate to invest $1, $10, wherever they would like. A little bit of an Amazon of investment solutions. The ability to kind of have a basket, kind of plug and play which investments you want and create a diversified portfolio with less than $100. So here, why security tokens? So as we were mentioning before, FINMA, the financial regulator, brought out a classification of tokens. So in 2018, they knew, okay, what is a security token? What is an asset token? And so time built up. There were a lot of companies that wanted to launch security tokens. They found some hurdles, but the regulators were cognizant of this. And just earlier this year, they brought out the possibility of actually issuing security tokens in a legal manner. Not only the issuance here, but also the ability for companies to fractionalize their share capital. What this means is that if you're a company, you can tokenize your shares. Even before going on an IPO, you can tokenize your shares and essentially be able to give that to whoever you might want and even sell that. In August of this year, so this is really recent news, in August of this year, DLT trading venues, so have been coming out. So the trading venues has always been one of the issues. It's that, okay, great, you can issue security tokens, but where do you buy and sell this? Where is the secondary market? And so Switzerland has been tackling this problem by regulating the first security token exchange. It's always been a problem. How do I exchange this security token with one another? I might buy it, but then I'm stuck with it. It's in my wallet and I can't do anything. But here we have the first exchange or trading venue that has been licensed called SDX, and we will have many more, in my opinion, that will come out, like Taurus and others. So in my opinion, we will really see here the rise of security tokens from a stable environment such as Switzerland. So probably one of the reasons you're here as well is to find out more about the Dubai ecosystem, and so I want to speak a little bit about my opinions on that and how Switzerland might come into play, because I don't think it's one jurisdiction wins all. You know, people are creating their companies everywhere in the world, not just either here in Dubai or in Switzerland or wherever. So every company or time in place where a company has their own set jurisdiction. So I see actually Dubai and Switzerland working quite closely together. As some of you might know, the Crypto Valley Labs has just 3-4 months ago opened in the DMCC to allow this bridge between the Crypto Valley, Switzerland, and Dubai to come to life. But actually I see this happening even further, whereby a lot of individuals that want to launch their project, they're not too sure if it's going to work or not, and they have a lot of enthusiasm and they really want to do it, but they might not have the funding and they're not too sure if it's going to work out yet. They would come to Dubai. They would come to Dubai to kind of bootstrap their project, see if it works, and market test it. Once they've been able to market test that, get funding, they have their employees, they know their roadmaps, and they can really continue to strive forward, I think then they will come to Switzerland to search for more regulatory clarity and make sure that they can sustain that growth through the future. I can make a parallel actually between tokens and coins. Some of you might know the difference, whereby essentially creating your own blockchain is quite hard. I mean, it takes a lot of time, it's capital intensive, etc. So what created the 2017 hype was actually Ethereum that allowed you to create your token in a matter of minutes. You could do it quite quickly. But in the past you couldn't. And so here I see that happening the same way. To create your company in Switzerland, it's a bit long, it's true, it's a bit capital intensive, but they do that for a reason. The Swiss believe slow and steady wins the race. So in my opinion, I think a lot of companies will try and get a leg up by starting off in Dubai, which is seen to be quite fast and easy to do, starting in Dubai and then going back into Switzerland. So we don't know, but I do believe that both jurisdictions and ecosystems will be able to work in unison together, and I hope we will. So thank you, and if you have any questions, I'm all ears and love to discuss. Thank you. Can we take questions, or I don't know if that's a possibility? Yeah, 3 minutes? Okay, we have 3 minutes. I don't know if anyone has any questions about the Swiss ecosystem or about how Dubai might be working together with Switzerland at all. 3 minutes, probably 2 minutes and a half now. Anyone?
How can you support the Asian nations like India, Pakistan, all these nations for the implementation of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency and all, especially among schools, colleges, universities, chamber of commerce, like this?
Okay, I'm not sure I understood your question. So how can other jurisdictions help, or how are they evolving?
No jurisdiction. So like you are from Switzerland.
Yeah.
Switzerland is already highly advanced for blockchain. So, but the other nations are not like that, like India or Pakistan. Yes. So, what kind of support now, for example, from the country level, from the rulers level, the government level, can you make any initiative to adopt this system in the schools, colleges, universities, so that it can become a global revolution?
Yeah. So I see exactly what you mean. So if I make the parallel to Dubai as well, I think Dubai has taken a lot of what's happened, for example, in Malta. We saw in Malta, they really tried, okay, we're going to become the next crypto hub. They tried to do really things quite fast, and actually it didn't end up following from the banking side. So it ended up kind of not really working up, and it was a lot of hype for no reason. As we see here in Dubai, actually, they took a lot of what happened in Malta, what has been happening in other places, Gibraltar, the UK, etc., and Switzerland, and tried to create a nice mix between the two. So my recommendation to some governments, and we supported actually the Andorran government to create their crypto legislation. The ways in which I see it happening is not try to reinvent the wheel. Essentially, there are various wheels, different shapes and sizes and forms, be it Dubai, Swiss, and other just different jurisdictions and regulations. I would tell these governments, and I would work with them to say, okay, there's a lot that's already been put in place. how can your jurisdiction, your community be complementary to that? I wouldn't try and just pick something that's worked somewhere else and apply that to their nations. I would see, okay, what's the difference between us and them? Switzerland is a small country, so some of the things that we're able to do, I do believe to a certain extent others aren't. I think here in Dubai there's a lot of great energy and people are really kind of moving forward quite fast to get things done. I don't think that would work in some other places. So in respects to India, which is a very, very big country, I think they would have to work quite closely to have a local approach to the crypto and blockchain space rather than just mimicking someone else. That's a great question, and I'm sure if I knew the answer to how India could do that, they'd speak to you.
Can you come to New Delhi next month to make a presentation? In front of all major media of India.
Yeah.
Can you come to India?
Can I come to India? I guess I don't know how easy traveling to India is at the moment. I'd wish to. I have some background in India, so it would be a pleasure. But you never know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. I think that's it. Time's up from what I can see on the counter. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and hope we see you soon.